Hello, my name is Mark Cunningham, and I'm going to be retelling you the story from Edgar Allan Poe's The Red Death. Alright, this story kind of begins with the introduction of the Red Death itself. The Red Death is a very deadly disease, and it's been devastating the country for some time now. It's been killing people left and right with really no cure for this disease at all. It's described as being a very bloody death. You're covered with a lot of blood. I mean, your pores start bleeding, and it's very gruesome. Once you get it, or once you start showing symptoms of the Red Death, or the Red Death, they pretty much you're a dead man because within 30 minutes you're probably going to succumb to the disease. So then you in the story you get introduced to Prince Prospero, and by his name you can tell that he's prosperous prince, and he has his kingdom, and he really just sits back helplessly as his kingdom succumbs to the disease, to the Red Death itself, and he really can't do too much about it. Um, so after about half of his kingdom had been killed by the Red Death, or more than half, he went out and he sent his men out to gather up about 1,000 of his close family and friends, uh, so they can go into seclusion inside of his one of his castles. Um, they went into seclusion inside of one of his castles where they thought that they were safe behind big iron gates and bolts, and it was secluded from the rest of society, so they thought they were safe. So after about 7 months of this, for a celebration of them being successful in their seclusion, no one succumbing to the Red Death, he throws a fancy ball for him and his family members, or for who was inside of the castle with him. All right, so for this celebration, he decorates each of these rooms a single color in his house. There's a total of 7 rooms, and in the first 6 rooms, you have the decorations are as such. The first room is kind of decorated in blue, with blue stained glass windows, and the light illuminates the blue inside of the room to reflect off the ornaments and the rest of the blue decorations. So this room gives you a blue aura, though it is still a light aura. The next room that is decorated the same way was a purple room, which is like same stained glass windows that illuminates the color throughout the room to give you a purple hue. Uh, and the rooms continue on the same way. So you have a green room, an orange room, a white room, and a violet room. And all 6 of these rooms are full of life from the from the people celebrating and dancing and having a party in each one of these rooms. Now you had a seventh room. The seventh room, which was a little different from all the rest of the rooms, being as if one, no one would go in this room. Is That's one thing. It was an empty room. Two, this room was black and red. It had red windows and black ornaments and decorations and draperies around the room. There was really no light illuminating through this room, and they were to get some of the light in the room. There were lamps or something lit to give the room some type of illumination. Uh, Also in this room, there was a clock. There was an ebony clock that rang every hour, and when this clock rang, it let off a loud sound, and this sound would actually stop the rest of the party for a few seconds as it went on. The orchestra would stop playing, and everyone would stop dancing until the clock had finished going on with its alarm. So, at about midnight, everyone starts to begin to notice a new guest has come into the party. Now, this man is a tall, slender man, and his face looked it like a corpse, the face of a corpse. He had signs and symptoms of the Red Death, but they didn't know if it was a costume because of the costume masquerade they were having, or if it was real. The people could not really decipher between the two. So his clothes were that of like a funeral shroud, and he kind of stuck out. Everyone noticed, that he hadn't been there before. So Prospero, once he noticed this guy, he became angry with this guy because who would have so much, who would have the sense to come to a party celebrating us getting away from the Red Death and him himself resembling the Red Death so close. So it kind of angered Prospero. So Prospero, he was mad because this guy would come to the party. So as Prospero is trying to kind of chase this guy down, he moves from room to room, and no one else would kind of touch this man or stop him from running from Prospero. So Prospero kind of followed him on down the corridor of these rooms until they get to the black and red room. Once they get to the door, or once they get inside of the black and red room, Prospero is finally he's able to confront this masked man. So once he's there to confront him, he begins to confront him, and he goes to touch the guy, and he dies. Prospero, the prince, he dies instantly. So I guess you could say that he kind of succumbed to the actual Red Death itself, well, himself. So as the other people sees Prospero dying, everyone else tries to go into the room now and to attack this cloaked man, to attack this weird creature. So when they go in to attack this man, they find that there is no body inside the costume. It's just costume. There's no human form behind this costume whatsoever. So then everyone else dies. Everyone else succumbs to the Red Death. So everyone succumbs to the Red Death, and the Red Death has triumphed over all of these people at their celebration. So that's my retelling of the Red Death. Thank you.